Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Impact Marketing Summit. I brought together some of the world's top marketing experts to share with you their new age marketing strategies and techniques that will literally change the way you perceive and implement marketing in your day-to-day business. My name is Vamsi Pannala, and right now I'm delighted to be speaking with Kaci Brown. Kaci Brown is a business consultant and marketing strategist that helps visionary entrepreneurs who want to make an impact as much as an income launch and scale online. She leverages her unique experience and background in relationship marketing to help others turn their passion into scalable, profitable business that creates a ripple effect to pay it forward in big ways. She is one of the handful of individuals selected to coach within Russell Brunson's Two Comma Club coaching program, #1 Amazon bestselling author, co-founder of the Amplify coaching program and online community, and the host of the Amplify My Impact podcast to help encourage others to fully step into purpose to create a legacy of impact with the gifts and talents they were given. Kaci is extremely committed to helping impact-driven entrepreneurs grow, scale, and thrive in like-minded network rising together faster than they could ever do alone. She is an unwavering, eternal optimist, happily married to her high school sweetheart. They live in Atlanta, Georgia, with their 4 lovely kiddos and enjoy frequent family adventures to the Disney World. Kaci, welcome to the summit.
Thank you so much for just that incredible introduction and for having me and for all of the speakers and what you are doing to pave the foundation of everyone, no matter what level they're starting out with or transitioning or pivoting into something new. This is a really huge topic that's near and dear to my heart. So as far as legacy for impact and that impact driven business, I'd really like to cover with your audience today the 3 ways that they can attract, serve, and grow, all rooted with how much they can pay it forward, rooted in that impact mindset, and serve first to grow their relationships and their revenue. So does that sound good?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. Well, again, it's a pleasure to be here, and just a little bit of my backstory that really started this journey in relationship marketing. My first business was actually a wedding photographer. Okay. And I started that just out of pure passion and need, and I needed to contribute to our family's income. I had a creative spirit that I just didn't have the guts to go to college for that. I went to college with marketing and business majors. I got a job right with Fortune 500 corporations and went straight to get my MBA. So for all, purposes, I followed the traditional path and realized really quickly, thank goodness, at a young age, that was not the path that I wanted for my own life. Mm-hmm. So many of you watching or listening, you may be sitting here at a transition, thinking everything that I've done in the past, or every effort or everything that I've learned isn't necessarily where my heart is. And that's okay. But I also want you to know that you can leverage those skill sets, because I beat myself up for a good 3 years as a new photographer. I didn't even call myself a professional photographer for about 3 years, because I didn't have a master's of photography. I didn't have all of the titles. I didn't have all of the certifications. But my business was doing better than every other photographer in my local area. No paid advertising, all word of mouth. And it was because of my background in marketing. I knew how to market. And that is the beautiful thing. So first and foremost, before we dive in about how to attract, serve, and grow, I want you to realize that 90% of the work is already done. You just have to be right where you're at and start with your strengths. Like, identify what you know and how you can leverage it to get you to where you want to go. Okay. So that was the one thing that I wanted everyone to understand. Sure. So the one thing that grew my business was that word of mouth advertising, was the relationships. So relationships became like the foundation of my business. Who I met, how I interacted with them, how I introduced myself to them. And I think that's the biggest thing for everyone to realize, is that we live in an online and digital world, but the minute that you carry over those relationships of how we treat people in person into the digital space, immediately sets you apart from everyone else that you will come in contact with, because we have become an instant gratification society and our attention spans are ever decreasing. You know, like right now it used to be you had 8 seconds to make a first impression. Now you're lucky if you get 3 to 6, right? But what really catches some attention is when you do pay attention to someone, when you ask about them, when you are truly interested in them. And just that one thing starts to attract the relationship and the common bond between the people that you want to serve. Never, ever, ever discount the relationship that somebody could have, even if they're not going to buy your product or service right now. If we only talked to people that we could sell, we would have a very, very tight and short, like, root system of our business. And a lot of people make that mistake where they're so focused on sales and messaging and marketing that they lose that. So I wanted to make sure that we are attracting those relationships. When you think about attracting, don't just think about attracting only customers. Where do your customers currently hang out? Where are they currently getting their information from? Are they gathering in a group? Is there someone else that's leading that you may have a complimentary offer with? Where can you leverage a relationship so you can shortcut that connection that it would take you? Because if you take it a go it alone mindset, you're going to have to spend more. You're going to have to work harder, because there's people who have been doing this for a very, very long time. And it's easier to go into alignment and have that abundance relationship than it is to, I'm going to go take them down. So it's all about getting yourself to the right position and attracting. So that's just one part of attracting and focusing on relationships. A second part, I would say, that goes along with attracting is repelling as much as possible. So with our messaging and with what we communicate, how we attract and we build those relationships, we have to accept we are not going to please everyone all of the time. And if we're just going to dance and be mediocre and not really stand for anything with the product or service that we're putting out there, we're going to get mediocre results, right? Don't be mediocre. Go full on out with your relationships and your personality and repel as equally as you attract. Fully accept there's going to be people who disagree with you. There's going to be people who complain with you. There's going to be people who leave you ugly comments or question what you're doing, why you're doing it, or whatever your motivations are. But chances are, if you're watching and you're interacting, you're watching the summit, you are impact driven. And that is the most beautiful set of armor and shield that you have against anything and everything that will come your way. Because if you are rooted, truly rooted in integrity and alignment with impact, who can come against you? What can people say that, you know, are you going to take advantage? No. Are you going to try to pull the wool over someone's eyes and market something with, you know, a big shiny object or like a lot of bells and whistles and not deliver? No, because that's out of alignment with your integrity. Right? So let the haters come. So that is part one for attract. And if you're just starting out, I want to give you a formula for just starting out to that, because I didn't always have that mindset. Like, publishing for me in the beginning was really, really, really hard. I struggled with it. I didn't want to turn on the camera. I didn't want to get my message out there. I wanted to serve, right? The desire to serve was huge. How I wanted to serve was just for people to continue to send me the word of mouth referrals. But you get to a point in business where you're compelled to serve at a higher level. And that's where I found myself a couple years ago, that I needed to transition into publishing. I needed to get more vocal about who I was, how I served, and the change that I wanted to make.
Yeah.
And for me at that point in time, and still sometimes now, like, it gave me that sick pit in my stomach. So I just want to pause real quick before I go into this formula and ask you, did you have that same feeling when you were creating the summit and like starting to reach out and put yourself out there more?
You're absolutely bang on with that. The way I've started off interviewing some of my first set of speakers versus the number that I'm at right now, which is at 25. There is a huge change in the way I'm talking to them, I'm interacting with them. While I've been doing a little bit of publishing for myself, not a huge amount of it, but there is that always that nervousness when I'm talking to people who are so big, seen a lot of success in their own way, and that kind of put me at a little nervous state. But now when I started speaking to more and more people, it becomes so easy for me to talk to them as if I know them from a long time. This is my second interaction with you, but still I have so much of ease talking to you. Whatever I probably wanted to ask before the call, probably after the call I can ping you on Messenger now. So there's so much of ease right now, and you absolutely nailed it.
Awesome. Awesome. So many of you who are watching this may be going through that same feeling, or maybe you have been publishing for a while and it's time to ramp up, because that is the thing about growth and our comfort zone. Just when you think you've nailed it and you've got it mastered, it changes, it moves on you, and it gets uncomfortable again, and it gets scary again, and our ego wants to creep in there and just sort of like insulate us and tell us, don't move forward, you're perfect and you have it figured out right now, you're safe where you're at. And so what I want to share with you now is the BRAVE method. And it's a 5-step method that it is what I ate, slept, and breathed, and now it's become second nature. So BRAVE, it's the word BRAVE, B-R-A-V-E. And the first one is we touched on it a little bit with when you feel so compelled and you're impact driven. Oh, hold on. You want to say hello? So we'll pick up. Just, hey, mommy's filming. Can you give me just a little bit longer? Yeah? Okay, give me a kiss. Okay. Can you close the door on your way out? All right, thank you. Okay. All right. That was my youngest. So
Do you want me to keep this or?
Totally up to you. It's fine. It's fine if you keep it, because before I get into BRAVE, let me share one more story with you guys, because, and I will say, leave that in, because seeing that for me changed everything in my business.
Okay.
It was around 3 years ago. I had just started. I had just gotten back into business. So I shared a little bit about my photography business, but there was a little bit of time span in between where I had to stop working and take off.
Okay.
We are coming up on about the 10-year anniversary of when my husband was diagnosed with a brain tumor.
Oh.
And at that point, on the diagnosis, we had just moved from Florida to Georgia, and I stopped. I did not rebuild photography business. I did not seek out more clients. I was just like, our world was turned upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Our priorities changed, and we were thrown into this situation where we had to meet with physicians and surgeons and figure out, like, how do we biopsy, do we operate, like, and what will that do? So we ended up over the next after his diagnosis, after the next few months, meeting with tons of doctors on the possibilities, and he had surgery at the end of the year to remove it. And they were able to remove about 60 to 70%. It was in a very odd part of his brain. So it took a toll. Like, the surgery did not go as planned. There were some complications, and he has some limitations on his left side now, similar to what a stroke victim would have. So I took off for about 5 years. And at that point, we had 3 kids. And the one that just came in here, she's the 4th one after brain surgery, she's just our little blessing.
Okay.
And I wanted to share that story because once we got on the other side and we shifted our priorities and what we wanted out of life, like the decision and the drive to create, just being able to work from anywhere, being able to travel when we want, not tied to any time or location, like to 100% be in control. And that diagnosis came when he was 30 years old. So like to face your mortality at 30 and not have that, when I retire, I'll travel here and travel there. Like, no, like our lifespan was just like cut short and shortened. And we realized we're not promised that time. We have to live the way we want to live right here and right now.
Okay.
So I took a little bit of time off, about 5 years, and then I decided I can't go back for photography. I can't scale that. I can only work so many weekends. So I shifted to online and digital marketing. I dug in because I had a 5-year gap where Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of the social media channels were a completely different environment from where I had left them. So I had to start learning, and that's what led me to Russell Brunson and the 2 Comma Club, and how I just threw myself into that and eventually got to coach within the program.
Sure.
But that was a big domino after my first initial research of watching my first webinar and investing in my first community led by Emily Hirsch and Lindsay Padilla. It was a $97 a month private community. I didn't even they reviewed and they gave you feedback on your funnels. I didn't even know what a funnel was at that point in time. Okay. I just knew there was a gap that I needed to close. So I joined it. And one of our first calls, Emily had her newborn baby with her on that call. Mm-hmm. And I had joined this group with intention. Farah, who just ran in here, she was 2 at the time. Mm-hmm. So I was just thinking, I've got 3 years to figure this out, to understand online marketing, mm-hmm. so I can start my business. Okay. I thought it was going to take me 3 years and I couldn't do it with her at home, that I was waiting till she got into pre-K.
Okay.
And now I look at my business, which literally 3 years later is where it's at right now. Had I waited until she was in pre-K, all of that opportunity that I would have missed.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's one of those things where I 100% believe everything happens for a reason. So for her coming in, someone needs to see that. And if someone watching needs to see that, then I think we should leave it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So now back to Brave. I love that little detour there. So back to Brave. When you are needing to get loud and you are going to need to start publishing, and that is the one thing that is true about social media. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of things that are in our social feed. And as a marketer, your goal is to stop the scroll so you can communicate your message, which means if you are going to lead a movement and you are going to be out front, then you do have to face the reality that you're going to have to get out there, push the red button and go live and step outside your comfort zone.
True.
And so this is a method that got me through that. Again, so Brave, B-R-A-V-E. So we're going to start with B, and B stands for believe. We talked about earlier when you are attracting and repelling that you are aligned in integrity. And that is where belief comes in, is that if we're going to turn on that camera, if we're going to get out in front of social media and we are going to put our offers out there, we wholeheartedly believe that our solution and our message will benefit someone. And we are that best connection for them, not the best in the world, but the way that we care, the way that we deliver, the way that we're going to be committed to their success, 100% grounded in belief, that's where it all begins.
Okay.
If you do not feel that passionate about your product or your service or your offer, go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get burnout. You won't make it.
Yeah.
That belief is not only what grounds you, but it's what keeps you honest and committed to serving.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then R. R is for real, like completely real and honest about who you are, what your false beliefs are, what you need to overcome, and the reality that you will have to give yourself some grace to overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that believe just because I put an offer out there, I need to expect it's going to sell out, or that's the fear that it's going to be rejected. The reality is it's going to be hard. It's probably going to be rejected. You're going to have to go through some iterations. And if you're just realistic with yourself and the timeline and the expectations that you place on yourself, like belief and reality, it's a dance, right? Believe the impossible. Be totally committed to what you can create for people, but also be realistic in your expectations and give yourself the grace to achieve what you're setting out there. Like, don't set unrealistic goals that literally you only have 24 hours to accomplish what really honestly will take you a week to. I would rather you slow down enough and let your belief still fuel you and win on both accounts. So that's R, okay? A is authentic. This is a term that you'll hear thrown around a lot in online and digital marketing. And I am not talking surface level authenticities. I am not talking about like what you see is what you get type of mentality. No, I am talking about that authenticity that you are going to serve whether someone's going to pay you or not. You're worth talking to, no matter if you're a customer of mine or if I can refer you to someone else. I am so true in alignment and authenticity that if my product cannot help you, I am not going to persuade you that it can, because again, that doesn't align with the R, because I'm being unrealistic and I'm really setting myself off for future problems. Yeah. So truly authentic, and it's true to your core. Right? If you have a certain philosophical background, don't deny it. Right? If you want to serve, impact-driven entrepreneurs, you don't have to be everything to everybody else. Right? But there is a way to manage respect, but it doesn't mean that you have to pretend to be something you're not.
True.
And I think that's the biggest thing. There's a lot of people who try to emulate other people, or it's a fake it till you make it mentality. Yeah. And I've gotten everywhere I've been able to in business by just being 100% honest, true and authentic and transparent. If this is a beta, just launch it with a beta. If this is the first time that you're doing something, just tell somebody it's the first time that you're doing something. You'll get so much more respect and you'll sleep at night. Like, you'll actually sleep at night, right? You won't have that stress or that burden, or it's like, oh my God, what if they ask this question and I have to answer that question? Like, you'll never have to deal with that again.
Yeah.
Who you are is the same person when the camera's on, when the camera's off, when you're live in front of people, when you're with a handful of friends, when you're on a stage of 10,000 people, or when you're just at your dinner table with your family.
Yeah.
You're unique and special. You don't have to be anything else for anybody.
Yeah.
So, and I would just say, I want to take the time and acknowledge you for that. Like, when you reached out about the summit, and I had questions, you're like, this is the first one I'm doing. I don't have everything all together. Like, here are the speakers so far. Like, you were honest and you were upfront. And I think that started this relationship the right way.
Yeah.
Instead of you could have been like, well, I'll have my assistant send it to you later today. Like, like that it goes a long, long way. Yeah. All right. So now on to V, for vulnerability. So vulnerability is just like authenticity. It can be leveraged as a tactic, and don't do it as a tactic. What I mean by vulnerability is, the stuff that you think about and it's like, oh God, I hope nobody ever finds out about that. That's the vulnerability, like that type of stuff. When Farah came in here, if I wanted this to be pristine and perfect, I would have said, yeah, totally cut that out. right?
Yeah.
But no, like as a mom, I want her to know she's special and that she can come in here if she needs something.
Yeah.
As a business owner, I want my clients to know that I am very family oriented,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And as someone who like just advocates the journey of entrepreneurialism, the reality is that we all balance this family life, right? So if I was to compartmentalize and put something on where it's like, oh, family's over here, business is over here, like that would be unrealistic. That would not be true. And to share, like, it's not always easy, right? She's 6. It is not easy to keep a 6-year-old out of your office when you're on calls or recording or doing live trainings. Like, it's not, but it can be done, right? So I just wanted to really emphasize that vulnerability. And again, not just to play to someone's emotion, to truly serve them better. Like, think of the things that they could be struggling with. Think of the things that you struggled with. Those stories and that vulnerability that you share opens the door for someone else to do something great. And if that one thing alone is the reason why we have pain and we have suffering and we have that lesson of that, then it is worth sharing. So do not skip over that, and dig deep. Don't just, like, don't just check off Epiphany Bridge story. Check, right? No, like dig, keep digging. Those stories and the vulnerability, like no one has your experiences. No one has the life that you have. And if you really lean into that process, you will not ever have to worry about becoming a commodity with whatever product or service that you offer, because you stand in your individual unique capacity.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we get to E. If you've done all 4 of these so far, E is automatic. E is easy. And it's evolve. If you are brave, if you are realistic, if you are authentic, if you are vulnerable, you will continue to evolve in your growth and in your business and in the way you serve. You will not be the same person that woke up this morning as you go to bed tonight. Like, you are driven for that evolution. And that means that when you come across things that make you uncomfortable, they don't stop you anymore.
Yeah.
You shift that energy into fuel, because you know what's on the other side of that. That is evolution. Not fearing it, but acknowledging it, knowing that it makes you uncomfortable, but doing it anyway. That is evolution, and that is what business is. That's what an entrepreneur is made off of.
Absolutely.
So that is the brave method. And so I have two more things that I want to share with you. Are we okay on time?
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. All right, so now the title of what we were talking about is to attract, serve, and grow your tribe. So we're to the serve part now, but the second part isn't where it all starts. Like, you don't wait till you get there to start serving. Serving is what initiates that momentum, right? And that is your true core and the soul of your business. If you are planning that foundation of service, that becomes sort of like the buffer and the litmus test for everything that you're going to do. And in our business, what we do for our clients is and what we're going to offer, what we're going to create, we ask ourselves, will this better serve our clients?
Okay.
And if the answer is yes, then we do it.
Yeah.
If the answer is no, we do not.
Okay.
And as a business, that is a very slippery slope, because there are tactics and there are ways where if you offer this, but you don't give them quite enough, you can get more money over here. And I'm not arguing the value ladder or customer ascension process.
Yeah.
Profitability is totally necessary for business. But if you are intentionally overcomplicating something and making someone work harder and possibly give up sooner rather than they really need to, you're not serving them. Okay. So for me, that second part is if you're just always serving, you're always showing up to serve, it's going to do so many things for your marketing, for your messaging, for the referrals. Yeah. We live in an online space right now, and organic, so grow is where we're going to get into organic to paid traffic. But right now, if we're starting out in attracting and we're starting out in serving, we're talking about those relationships and those organic opportunities, because we may not be at that point in your business to put towards paid ads, right? So your time is really valuable, your relationships are very valuable, and your integrity and dependability of being a server is even more valuable, because right now you need those word of mouth referrals. You need that third party validation. True. Because when someone's going to recommend your product or service, the sale is easy. Yeah. The sale is easy. And that is where you need to focus and make sure that you're nurturing those relationships, and you're not treating those relationships as what I can get out of it, because we all grow together if you lean in and you support someone else. Yeah. And I will argue that to my last breath, till the day that I die, that relationships matter. Relationships with our peers, relationships in our industry, relationships with our team, and relationships with our clients and our customers. Very true. You can totally have a whole business model, a successful business model. And I know I've consulted them, like multiple 6, 7, 8 figures, all off of word of mouth, and not one dime in paid traffic. Wow. You can do it. Like, you can totally do it. But if you lay the foundation in serving, you will have that word of mouth like that. Like, people, like, again, we live in this online space. Many of the people who are watching this summit could have read or seen it shared in a forum or in a group that we're all a part of, which we know in these groups, people ask for connections all the time. Like, I'm looking for a funnel builder. I'm looking for an ad agency. I'm looking for this. Yeah. What does it mean when someone can tag someone else in that post? Yeah. It's priceless. Yeah. It's priceless. Yeah. So just be aware of being present and always willing to serve, no matter at what point you're at in business, especially when you're just starting out. You may not have proof of concept. You may not have case studies. Yeah. You may not have a system that you have perfected and have been able to scale. When you're first starting out, you need someone to serve. You need proof of concept. You need to have people to reach out to. And I mean, I remember when I was first starting out, I had one client that I didn't know how I was going to do it. I didn't have all of my systems in place. I just knew I could help them with their marketing. And I reached out to them, and I got them as a client. They're still with us. And we took them from barely making 6 figures to over $1 million in less than, I guess, just over a year. Wow. And completely like redid everything, all of their systems and everything. I was transparent. I was honest. They knew I was working on these systems. I just served my heart out. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's what we got the 2 Comma Club award for. Yeah. Right. Serve. And I would say don't put a lot of stock in awards like that, because there's so many things that people could do to get those in revenue generation. Like, revenue doesn't equal profits, but I know that's like a totally different subject. But what I do want to highlight is that particular award 100% represents service. Yeah. Because that award was received over one training program that developed into 8 different training program options, all because we served, we got a result, and people came back for more. They shared it with other people, and they came back for more. Yeah. So that is what's possible when you make service such a core component of your business. Awesome. Okay. All right. So are we ready to go into grow? Yes. Okay. All right. So growing, we've laid our foundation, right? We've attracted, we've repelled, we're serving first. Like there's no question of our reputation in the industry. So now we are going to transition or start laying the foundation to transition from organic to paid traffic.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we grow. Like I did mention you can totally grow without paid traffic.
Agree.
And if you're going to do that, then you just increase your systems for building relationships and connections, and finding, again, where your audiences are, where the influences are that are leading a tribe and that are also serving at the same level you're serving, and finding those commonalities where you can come together. So for instance, like for your summit, or say for you and your business, maybe you're going to offer funnel building, and my agency offers strategy, and all you want to do is build funnels. You don't want to mess with the value ladder and the avatar and understanding how they need to grow and scale. We have a complementary relationship.
Absolutely.
And that is how you grow. Like you find the commonalities and the complementary relationships, and you lean in and you serve and you nurture them.
True.
And another way is on the paid side, right? So if you guys have followed Russell Brunson or any marketer really, because it's not necessarily anyone's owned definition, but there's traffic that you own, there's traffic that you borrow, and there's traffic that you pay for, right? And when you're growing your business, you want to get to that point where you own that traffic, which is building your list, nurturing your audience. And what I mean by that is there's email lists, there's messenger bot lists, there's subscriber lists. Podcasts are an excellent way to get, you can leverage all of the different platforms, but you want it to be such a coordinated effort where all roads lead to Rome. Whether it's publishing on social media, your podcast, an email, they all funnel to one central location where they know what your core offer is. They know what your core service is. They understand who you are and what you have to offer. That's where everything starts interacting and working together. Because when people know who you are and what you serve and the problem that you solve, you have the word of mouth referrals. You have those introductions and those JV opportunities to work together. And then you also have the credibility on the side of paid traffic. So when you start running paid traffic to those cold audiences, remember, and I'll review warm, hot, and cold. If you are running paid traffic, which Facebook, Instagram, all YouTube ads, there's different temperatures of traffic. Cold, they may have never interacted with you or heard of you before. Warm, they're a little bit familiar with what you do, but maybe not necessarily who you are, right? And then hot, they know exactly who you are, they know exactly what they do, and they're more than happy to tell their friends about it, right? You want to nurture and love on and always have that hot audience next to you, right? But as you start to grow, you're going to have to grow that hot audience. And to grow that hot audience, you have to reverse engineer that hot audience, right? Before they were hot, they may not have known about you. They may not have met you. They may not have shaken your hand at a live event, right? And we're leveraging digital traffic now, so they may not get to meet you in person. So they're coming in cold. Now, what are you putting out there to create that relationship, to kind of like extend that olive branch for you? Like, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is how I serve. How can I serve you? Not how can I sell you? Exactly. How can I serve you? Now, with a cold audience, you can take them straight to sales and offers, but I will argue as an agency owner, you're going to pay half the amount easily and paid advertising. If you can master it organically and then shift it into paid traffic, it's going to cost you a lot less and you're going to scale a lot faster. But I will say, like, it's not impossible. It's totally not impossible, especially if you knock their socks off when they're cold. because they're not used to that. They're not used to somebody serving at the level that you're committing to serve, right? So this service is totally your secret weapon here. And then, of course, you're going to continue to nurture them, because remember, we are taking the approach that everyone has value, whether they're going to buy our product or service, but we're going to value who they are as a person and as an individual. Because when we do that, they're going to see that. They're going to recognize, you know what? I think Kaci's a pretty cool gal, right?
Yeah.
I don't need what she has right now, but my friend right here does. I need to make sure he knows that's valuable. And you never know when that intersection is going to take place.
Sure.
And that's why if you just constantly have that serve in your strategy, you're going to naturally grow. And then overall with paid traffic strategies, you just want to keep paying attention, have a pulse on your market. What's going to, again, set you apart from everybody else is when you know your customer and your client and the problems that you solve in the marketplace better than anybody else. Because when you know the problems that you solve and their pain points and you've understood them as a customer, you can talk to them better than anybody else. You can connect with them better than anybody else. And you have created simple solutions to the problems that they're looking to solve better than anyone else. So that is it. That is my 3 pieces on how to attract, serve, and grow, and overall how to amplify your impact.
So when you were speaking about attract, serve, and grow, I really felt like I was reading .com secrets. I was going through expert secrets. I was going through the one funnel away challenge. So as a coach, I think there were some of the points that, because I did the one funnel away challenge thrice, because every time you do it, there is a new thing that you keep learning, because the first time you're probably just trying to understand the concept. Second time you already have a product that you probably want to take it to the next level. Third time there is something else. Maybe you probably want to know a different traffic method that you probably want to implement in your business. So, and the same is with .com secrets. Maybe the first time you would not understand what a soap opera sequence is, what a Seinfeld sequence is, but when you start implementing it in your business, and those are frameworks, like Gabe was talking a couple of hours back about frameworks. So I think what you have taught about is really gold. I mean, people who are aspiring marketers, aspiring entrepreneurs, or even established marketers or entrepreneurs, because you work so closely with Russell and the ClickFunnels team, it really resonates with what you're speaking. The strategies, that techniques, the frameworks that literally work if you start taking action. You don't have to do really out of the world stuff, but if you can simply put them into action, and you can see the results for yourself, whether it is organic, paid, a blend of it. I mean, you have just put it in the right way. So yeah, I mean, I totally enjoyed. I'm sure people who are watching it right now would have got a lot of value. But I personally really enjoyed. It's like an emotional drive from the last year that I've been doing. In fact, if you should know, I went live for 66 days on a trot, summarizing what I learned every day about .com secrets, reading out each chapter, and then going back on YouTube and Facebook, doing a live about what I understood from that chapter. Did the same thing with One Funnel Away Challenge. That, in fact, drawn in a lot of my dream customers. I could work with a couple of them. So what you said about publishing is actually true. And if people believe that, no, I actually went every single day and nothing happened. No, it's not. I'm sure when you do it every single day, you will find your voice. Your dream customers will find your voice, and your money problems will be gone, like Russell always keeps saying. So I really enjoyed the conversation, Cassie. Yeah.
Awesome. I am always here, number one, to serve and to be as much as a light for others that I can. I'll be honest with you and tell you, like, the biggest thing that will hold anyone back and stopping them from growing is this here.
Yeah.
And themselves getting in their own way. And it's so true, like you said, like it really does not matter where you're at in business, for you to pause and take a look at, because there's been companies we've consulted with that are making really great revenue, but the profit just isn't there. And when we dug in and when we looked, they were missing that personal connection with their audience and their tribe. Like there wasn't like a rally cry.
Yeah.
And people want to be part of something. So, if you can tie what you're doing to a movement or a cause, like people will rally around you and they want to be led. They want a simple gathering place of like-mindedness. Like that is a very powerful marketing strategy that, it may not be, as sexy as make 100 grand in 10 days.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you it will make the difference between a legacy brand and somebody who is burnt out after 3 months because they do not like the customers that they created.
Yeah. Yeah. All I can say is that thank you so much for your time to be on my summit. I know we never interacted before, and we were just Facebook friends from some time. I don't know when it was, to be very honest with you, but you saw that I'm probably doing this with a purpose. So when we spoke for the first time, you thought there was something in me to be able to spend your half an hour, 40 minutes that you have spent with me right now today. So I'm very indebted to that. So again, I mean, all I can say today is a heartfelt thanks for spending your time on my summit. And hopefully, as I got value in terms of, because I was making a lot of notes myself. So I'm sure people who are watching it right now would have a lot of things that they would have written notes in their own way of what they understood from your session. So thank you so much for your time again, and I truly appreciate being on my summit.
Thank you. Well, thank you for putting it together. It's truly an incredible and noble cause, and I admired that from the beginning. So thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye, everybody.
Bye.